Hello, this video is for Shahram Moosavi, and I am very grateful for your questions and for sharing your perspective with me. And that has never happened before, that someone wants to talk to me in depth about these things and make videos even, and talk on Skype and maybe record it and show it on YouTube and get other people engaged into this. I've been wanting to get people to talk to me and engage into conversations about philosophy for many years, but no one wants to do it. I think the reason for that is that most people, first of all, they don't have time, and when they have time, most people want to engage in very superficial activities because they think that relaxes them. They also want to escape from themselves. And you all know all of these things, of course, but I'm saying this also for other people who might watch this video, and to get other people engaged into this conversation as well, and start making videos about your life, about your views, about your struggles, and so on. So your question, how do I engage with other people who are drastically different from myself? How do I make friends with them? How do I feel about them? How do I feel about myself when I am engaging with them? And how do I make connections and bring harmony to the world? Those are the questions that really cut to the core with my life, because that is what I have a tremendous problem with, and I see what my problem is. I see that I barricade myself often from the people who are more easygoing, like from the people who like to do small talk and who like to engage into very commercial type of music, games, play, talk, language. All of this is creates a reaction in me, and that's why I know that I have mountains and mountains of work ahead of me. But I've also worked on myself, quite a stretch. So I've worked on myself for a long time, for many decades. And I've gone through many different phases of worldview, beliefs, looking at things from different angles, talking to many different people about different things, meeting many different people with many different religions. And in each religion, you have intellectuals that are peaceful. There are even intellectuals in the Muslim religion and in the Christian religion. It is the populous body, it is the average person in those religions who misunderstand all teachings, whether the teachings are meant well or not meant well. Not all the writings in the religions are meant well, certainly not, and those religions have been written usually by people in power throughout history, right? I mean, it was meant to control people. And that's why I am against religion, because religion is a control system. It controls women. I looked into the Baha'i religion phase earlier today, and I checked different websites, including Wikipedia, and I looked at your Google Plus page, and you have several videos of someone teaching in an Arabic language the Baha'i faith, and I read that it is an offshoot from Islam, but it is viewed by Sunni and Shia followers as a deviation, as a wrong deviation from their faith. So it's not, Baha is not Islam, but it originated there. And what I see in these videos, I didn't understand a word, but what I see in the audience is the women there, or you can only see their eyes, you know. I mean, these women are fully covered, right? In black and very dark shades of fabric. So right there, I'm already out of the picture, because I mean, I'm willing to talk to you, but I do not in any way support a religion that whose constituents are suppress themselves or suppress others, you know, in any way, shape, or form. I'm completely against that. I'm against religion. There's a reason why I am against religion, because religion is a means to suppress people, to keep them in some kind of line, you know, to keep them ordered, to unify them, but in a bad way, to hammer them into the same templates. You cannot hammer anyone into the same templates. You cannot expect a woman to cover her whole body as if she has to be ashamed of her shape and her skin. That's anti-love. That is the opposite of love. I'm completely, utterly opposed to this. Okay? I do not support this in any way. Okay? And then also, they talk a lot about bringing humanity together. That's good. But do they mention animals? Is there any mention that, like, there are other living beings living around us? You know, I mean, it's not just your religion, but it's like, every religion is like this, seems like, except for Buddhism. The Buddha taught that we need to respect all sentient life. Okay, and that's fantastic. That's already light years ahead of the other ones. But it's also been made into a religion. And ultimately, what my understanding about it is, with humanity in general, is that people, it wouldn't matter with most people. That's what I observed. Most people, they will misconstruct anything that they read or hear, any kind of teachings. It will eventually become misunderstood and misconstructed and reconstructed, deconstructed, and completely rearranged into a self-serving purpose, and again into suppression of some sort. There's always one or a few that will manipulate it into, this works the best for them, the heck with everyone else, and let the other ones serve. So that's always what it ends up to be. And that's why I am so against religion. So, and Jiddu Krishnamurti himself, he says that religion, it's a complete misunderstanding of life. That's what religion is all about. It's like, the organized religions. Not what he means by a religious mind. And see, that's why, because he has this old-fashioned language, that's why I would never use that terminology anymore, because it gets misunderstood so easily. What he means by a religious mind is religion in its original word sense. That means religio. Religio is actually the opposite of religion. So I have to let him out. But anyway, religio means that we bring our information together and that we learn from each other, all, not just one person all the way on the top, you know, but that we all learn from each other in a completely egalitarian way. The light is bright outside, so I'm going to go back in the living room. Baby, what is this? What is this? What is this? So, Kenny is bored. He doesn't know what he wants. Okay, but he wants action or something. Anyway, so religio means actually every single intellectual brain comes together and shares, and that's what we do here, and that's wonderful. And if that is the original meaning of religion, then it's really cool, because it's the opposite of religion as we understand religion today. So, but it is ultra confusing for the public. That's why I don't use the word religion, not even in the original sense anymore, because I don't even want to use religio anymore. I will put it in the English language, which is easier to understand by all people, and no longer in an old Latin or in an old Greek or whatever that people, I mean, $5 words, what good are they, you know, if people don't even understand them, if people misunderstand them, and that's even worse. So bringing information together, you know, sharing information on eye level. That's what I always say. Eye level is so incredibly important. So each person, you are not putting a chador on you. I assume you are a man. I don't know why. I have the feeling you are a man. So, but maybe you are a woman. But anyway, if you're a man, why don't you put a chador on? And I bet you wouldn't want to do this, right? So imagine the women were their oppressors, and they decided, okay, we want to dress all men in pink underwear, like in the Arizona prison, which is a good idea, by the way. But dressing men in pink underwear is good, but dressing men in pink underwear and all garments in pink, and also and on top will be a burqa in pink, and only the eyes are visible, and it's humiliating, and it puts them in line, and it shows them where their place is in society. Would you want that, is my question. You have to always try to put yourself into someone else's shoes. You have to really go there with your brain and allow yourself to do it. And then look at it. Not always, you know, I believe in reincarnation. Not have to reincarnate into a woman. Have to reincarnate into a woman in Iran or something, and have to dress like this in order to experience that experience, and then I don't know, why can't we in this lifetime? That is what I'm trying to do, you know. I'm trying to open people's eyes to realize that they can in this lifetime come to a realization about these perspectives on complete egalitarianism. eye level. We're all together in this, all beings. Yeah. No one is, I am not above my dog. Okay. Matter of fact is, I put him above me. He is my teacher. Okay. I have to silence myself. When I silence my mind, he teaches me incredible things on a telepathic basis. And if you really quiet your mind, if you would quiet your minds to the point where you lose that what Jiddu Krishnamurti is teaching, where you lose that image of self. You know, that I am this teacher, I am this preacher, I have so and so many women below me, and I am a guru, I'm this new age guru, or I am, and they are all my sannyasins, and you know, dissolve that, completely dissolve it. It is completely useless, and it just stands in your own way of happiness and finding true connection and intimacy with another living being, with your own cells, with the cells in the tree. That's what this is all about. So I've been talking to a lot of people about this on Facebook and YouTube and in comment form, and I see a lot of people, most people are in extreme resistance to it. The intellectuals, the hater type of people will throw insults at me, and the intellectual people, they're not going to throw insults, but I can feel it. They avoid the conversation, because that's how I see they're in complete resistance to this inner confrontation, you know, of really doing this work and really letting go of this image, of this, because the image is the ego. The ego is the self-defense mechanism against hurt from the past. That is what we want to dissolve. We want to heal it. The dissolution of the ego is the healing process by itself. You want to nurture your body, your brain, the animal that is you. You know, be good to that animal that is you. The image is not the actual person. The image is a defense mechanism, which is a split. It's just as serious as multiple personalities. You know, it's a fragmentation. It's denial. It's a fantasy construct in order to keep things in check. You know, in order to keep memories from surfacing and from having to deal with the pain, you know, when things get triggered in the past, you know, so that we don't have to, that we can keep this all neatly under control. But that's not the healing process. The healing process is to gradually heal and dissolve it and look at it calmly, you know, and sit with it without panicking, and acknowledge it for what it is, and allow the tears, and allow your body to shake or shiver, whatever it wants to do. Allow yourself to go through this without a reaction, without an anger outburst, or without hateful thoughts against the person or the situation that has triggered it. But look at it full force. And that's the only way we can heal. And when we do that, then we really don't need to join a community or... See, this is how I interact with people who are vastly different. I mean, almost everyone I encounter in my life, you know, whether it's a handyman who is hired to work with my husband to get something done here, or whether it is a neighbor or a clerk in a store, you know. There are almost always bitter encounters, and I mean, I don't say anything, but I can sense the energy of it. I'm that highly in tune with the infinite that it sounds awfully bad, but it is the truth, you know, and that's why I've suffered so much. I'm highly in tune, and as a child, I suffered so horribly because I saw that people were all lying. They were lying to each other. It felt threatening to me because they weren't saying the truth. They were saying something that was in complete contrast to their body language, to their energy, to their aura, and everything. So, and I see this all the time. It's happening all the time. I can. It's not that I verbatim read people's thoughts, but I read their energies. I read their attitudes towards me. I read their attitudes before they even become aware of their attitudes towards me themselves. That's how serious it is, and it is not fun, believe me. It's not fun at all. So, yeah, I took medication in the past to suppress that, you know. The psychiatrists would call that medication, they would call that therapy, they would call that treatment, to treat you back into alignment as what they think is alignment with neurotic society. Numb you so you don't feel it, you know, and but didn't work very much for me. It just made me sick and exhausted, more exhausted than I was already. My liver was hurting. I had to quit the stuff. So, yeah, I'm getting into health, holistic healing, and then my sensory acuity is becoming even more sharpened, whether I like it or not, and it's very painful. But yeah, that is my life. That's what I go through. And it's awful, horrible suffering. I've been always at the edge of committing suicide because I don't like what I see. You know, I don't like this incredible unalignment with the infinite in other humans, and it's painful for me to see it, to witnesses, and it feels like sharp knives. That's what it feels like to my mind. It feels like 99-cent store music or something. It feels like, I'm not going to name any names, but it feels like very unaligned humans. It feels like their music that they make, their thoughts that they have, their videos, their horror movies, their video games, their bigotry video games, and so on. You know, it feels to me it's an energy of extreme insanity, and it feels like sharp knives. And as a child already, and I've painted paintings of this. So yeah, this is my perspective on it. I always am happy when someone does something nice. I always acknowledge it when someone does something to others or to me that is coming from a state of genuine wish to meet on eye level, to be friends, to be good, to be kind. The word good is also very misunderstood, but to be coming from a perspective of friendship, and I always acknowledge that, and I give tenfold, hundredfold back for that, because I want to praise that, because those are the sparks that I want to fuel, that I want to nourish, the sparks that move us forward. So the negativity I have to block out, literally. I have to block negativity. I can't stand it anymore. I have given a lot of haters a lot of my time in my life, and I have tried to explain it. They're not ready to hear it. And since I am a living being myself, I have to protect myself too. So that's why I have to block. I block most people who I encounter when they become hostile, of course. Some people I don't need to block, they go away on their own. They block me. Yeah. So I always find that funny because I wasn't I wasn't gonna bombard them with anything. They were the ones bombarding me on Facebook, for example. There are a lot of men who want something, they want to elicit something. They want to want, I don't know what they want, sex or nude photos from me or information so that for their own sexual pleasures, and or they want money. Yeah, most of them want money, then they will disguise it as something romantic. But it's always like krage, it's that word if you are from, I don't know where you're from, India but it's a Sanskrit language. Krage is this concept of wanting. Thich Nhat Hanh calls them the hungry ghosts. It's like they can't take real love in at all. They want to fill a void with more void, and with completely empty, shallow things, with physical pleasure that creates an even wider gap, an even wider void inside of their brain, their mind, soul maybe too, if you want to use that word. So into their entire existence of energy, and into their energy realm. And that's dangerous, and I see so much destruction happening that people are doing, and Facebook gives me a very clear and a very harsh insight into this. And I try to talk to people, but there is no way I can talk to them. One example, handyman comes over. He wants to help us with setting up a fence on one side. Okay, he comes over, and I hadn't seen him in a while, and I say, hey, how are you doing? Happy, easy going on a friendship basis. Okay, he says proudly, my son is now stationed in Afghanistan. Hooray! Okay, and I go, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And I know how he would react to this, that I knew he would get mad at me for saying that. But did he ever think about that what he said would make me mad, would not sit well with my understanding of living and love and life, with respect for living? No, he didn't. So why should I then be quiet and say, oh, how cool, man, No, I'm not going to. So, and this is how my encounters are. It is not fun, I tell you that. And that's why I sit here and I feel very isolated, and I feel very lonely. I have my husband and my dog, and I talk to my mother once a week. And I have some friends in Germany who I talk to through email. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Then I know a handful of very broken and very struggling people. But even those people are not willing to talk to me. Most people are not willing to talk to me because they are afraid of the stuff I will say. They're afraid of the stuff I will see. They don't want an inner confrontation. They don't want to be reminded of their their imbalances. They thought they figured it all out, that they have sort of created some equilibrium within themselves with some sort of compromise situation, life situation, yeah, that they created. But it's a lousy compromise. But that's that. But that would be okay if that was the only problem, you know. I mean, at least for other people. But the problem is, most people with their lousy compromises are stepping on other people's feet while they do it, you know. And they step on other people's feet who made different compromises, or who act out differently, or also those people who are trying to come into alignment with the infinite and to heal and to feel okay in the now moment. You know what I mean? So, okay, I guess I don't want to make the video too long, but anyway, those are my thoughts. For now, I will make a video later. Take care. Bye-bye.